She's from Senegal. Her name is Fatou. She said to me one day, she said, if you believe in reincarnation, wish that you come back as a Senegalese man. Each man is treated like a king. She said, you are allowed several wives, and each wife competes to make you happy.
Gee, that's not a bad place to be.
You see?
What is David Rodriguez?
In reality, really, it's beautiful wearable clothes. We don't make overtly sexy clothes, but I like to think of them as very sensual because of the fabrics and the way they shape to the body. And I think that's really the main ingredient of what we try to keep going, and it's become our signature.
Where were you from?
Indio, California, which is one of those little desert towns out in Southern California where, it's a one gas station town, and I grew up with horses and cows and chickens and pigs. As a preteen, I have the fortune to have grown up with an incredibly stylish, beautiful mother. And my mom and my grandmother used to make a lot of things for themselves too, so it was great that they would translate what was happening. I would sit there and watch my grandmother sew and cut.
So good to me.
What was your fascination about it?
There's no single moment in my life where I had this epiphany and said, oh my God, that's it. I was the only guy in the sewing class at high school, and I, by 8th grade,
That must have been a pisser.
Yeah, it was
back
pretty
in those
funny.
days.
But it was just like that. If this is what I have to do, if this is what I have to go through to do what I want, then that's so
How did your mother and your grandmother encourage you?
Well, initially they thought, well, isn't that what a job for women? It was like if I had said I want to be a hairstylist.
That's the problem with Latino too. You realize?
Yeah, there's this
double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's this whole gender role thing. And my dad, being like one of the most macho Mexican Catholic men in the world, was like, wait, I don't know, blah, blah. But the first time I made a dress for my mom, that was it. I went to school in Los Angeles. I studied at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, and I applied there before I had graduated high school. I wanted to start the ball rolling, and did research and looked in magazines for schools, and I decided to work for someone, and that's when I applied at Richard Tyler, a fellow Aussie.
Yes.
I joined Richard before he started consulting with Anne Klein.
Okay.
So it was it was in the early days. He really started out of a tiny little store in Los Angeles and doing custom clothes. And before that, he was doing clothes for rock stars, for their tours like Rod Stewart and Ozzy Osbourne. And so his background was very theatrical. And there's nothing more theatrical than rock.
How long were you with Richard?
For 3 years.
And what did you learn from Richard?
How to cut. I mean, that is a man who knows how to shape a cloth, and it's really incredible. He has such a great gift for, some people have intuitive feelings about whatever, but his is about fabric and what it'll do and how it'll behave, and it's interesting to watch him work because he's like a mad scientist, he's just, his hair is flying and he's just going at it, and it was so inspirational to see that. He was the type of person that would start from the beginning with the pattern, the fabric, cutting it. They would do the muslin, they would shape it, he would do the fittings. He knew exactly what needed to happen to make it look the way he wanted. It wasn't a question of, this is my concept and this is the end result I want, make it happen.
What did you really pick up that was so important for you to pick up at that time?
The confidence to really cut, to take a fabric and not be timid about it. So what if it's $150 a yard and it's only 30 inches wide? It's fabric. It's meant to be used. It's meant to be manipulated. At the end of the day, you have to decide whether you're going to be an artist or you're going to be somebody who makes a product. And that's the big definition, is how are you going to...
You don't see yourself as a bit of both?
I think you have to balance it. We're in a business, we have absolutely no illusion that we're creating art. This is a product that is meant to go into the marketplace and hopefully bring a smile to someone's face, and that's why they're going to buy it. I mean, the end result is actually an emotional response that art also provides. But to get to that point, it's actually a very commercial, logistical track.
So you hit New York, what happened then?
Well, I started working for Chanel in the ready-to-wear division. Working for Chanel in that division was really learning the market, meeting the buyers.
So you were actually being sort of a strategist at this point.
Oh yeah.
You realise that the puppy dog
fashion
eyes.
is war.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
We started out of our living room in our apartment, and if you know New York City apartments, which must be like any urban city, they're, you know,
big as a shoebox.
Yeah, and we had a cutting table and a sewing machine and a dress form. And, you know, when we first sold $1 million in a year, I thought, oh my God, this is it.
I can afford to pay myself away.
Yeah, we made it. This is great. And you know, we've been very fortunate. We've always broken even, and gosh, after our first year, we were already profitable. We have customers from, you know, Russians, Chinese, Indian, English, French, German, everywhere.
Do you find them different?
They're different, but not based on nationality.
What about, have you had some disappointments in the fitting room?
Oh, sure. You know, there are people that have very difficult fits. You know, no one has a perfect body. That's a fantasy. If you decide you want to alter your body, that's up to you. And I would never take the responsibility of suggesting to someone that they should do something because, you know, your body is your body. You know, and you only have one.
That is your personality.
It's a completely different thing. What you want to put on your body, that I can tell you, because it's clothing.
What is the art of making a woman beautiful? Are you trying to create a certain vision that's a little bit consistent, or are you trying to find each person's beauty spot?
You have to find that B spot, the beauty spot, because each one is different, and you have to see, you know, if you want to highlight a woman's bust, well, for one customer, great, she loves that. She loves to have a
she
low
wants
cut.
people to check it out.
Right, but then there's a woman who absolutely will never, you know, and it's more about her leg. You know, she wants to be covered up, but the slit can come all the way up to Nebraska, and it's fine. You know, so it's really about you try and work with the customer and talk to them and sort of figure out what it is about them that, you know, is going to be sort of your focus. It's completely personal, and it's a very emotional reaction. You know, when you see a customer, her face lights up, that's the best. You know, how can you beat that? It's just, that's the whole point.